Okay. I'm cracking all over the place, man. Let me stop. Let me sit up so I don't make that noise while I'm sitting here. All right. This is Destiny 2 update 9.7.0. Why am I at the top? Did I move my camera again? Hurt me. Hello? Get down. You too. Jesus. I'm gonna fix my stuff during videos. Anyway, the final update 9.7.0. It's not the final update, but we do. Surely they're gonna do some stuff here and there, but they're not. No more live updates. But the final, okay. All right. Before we dig in, our final slate of patch notes, which is over 17,000 words. Yeah. A message from the dev team. Hey all, welcome to our final patch notes article to Destiny 2. Well, that's a bit of a fib. We still have a few maintenance patches and smaller hotfixes after today. Told y'all. But this is our final major patch for Destiny 2. It's been an incredible ride. Thousands of patch notes snipped or shipped. A ridiculous amount of bugs squashed, released and unreleased. Hundreds of typos fixed after publish, our bad. Countless hours in the triage meetings looking to do what's best for our players. Years of overnight shifts in the BNOC, formerly DOC, all for you. There are a few things that were unrelated, like emails about snacks missing from the studio kitchen or messages to our IT team apologizing for forgetting our password to the 5th time in the calendar year, but that's besides the point. Thank you for showing up with each release. Thank you for kicking down the doors and putting the servers under stress. Thank you for every bug uncovered and reported. Thank you for your patience. And even if it was sometimes then, while we dug into connection issues, crashing bugs, anteaters, weasels, guitars, or other hiccups along the way, Destiny wouldn't be what it is without every single one of you. And we will forever be grateful for your time. We hope you enjoy Monument of Triumph, and we'll see you out there in the wilds. All right. The glasses are a little bit foggy, so that I don't skip over nothing. Let's make sure these bad boys is cleaned up, clear, and I ain't stumbling. I'm gonna stumble anyway. This is live, man. I can't fuck this up or make it unnatural, you know? Here we go. Activities. Monument of Triumph. A monument has been built in the center of the courtyard in the tower. Earn legendary marks by completing triumphs across the new Monument of Triumph category. These legendary marks can be exchanged at the 4 different Guardian Tenant vendors in the tower for a wide selection of free armor, ornaments, accessories, weapons engrams, and more. Iron Banner vendor location, when active, has been moved to its original spot above shacks in the courtyard. So if y'all never seen that before, literally right above shacks, there's a whole caged area that you used to go to for Iron Banner. Can't miss that. Distortions have spread across destinations in the Soul system, bringing a higher level of challenge and unique rewards while they are active. These distortions will rotate through a single destination every hour. The current active destination and remaining time will be visually marked on the destination screen. Enemies will become more challenging with both a distinct visual effect around them as well as changes to the environment indicating that the distortion is active. Completing public events will drop rewards at a higher gear tier than standard, and completing distortion specific events may drop unique rewards. Okay. Raids and dungeons. Pantheon 2.0. The gods of old have a new challenge for you. The first 2 Pantheon activities are now available. Callus Resplendent and Morgoth Surpassing will each feature a unique lineup of bosses. These can be accessed through the new Raids and Dungeons node on the destination screen. The third Pantheon activity, where players will fight through the full gauntlet of bosses, will be available at 10 a.m. Pacific time on Saturday, June 13th. A weekly rotation of individual boss features will become available at reset on Tuesday, June 16th. 2 bosses will be featured in these rotators at a time. Added new triumph rewards and a title to earn. Updated rewards. All The Edge of Fate raids and dungeons have been updated to drop tiered weapons, tiered armor from all raids and dungeons and unique set bonuses, tiered weapons from dungeons with new traits. Craftable raid weapons have been received updated perk pools and can be upgraded to matched tiered weapons. Raids and dungeons rotator. Each week, 2 raids, 2 dungeons will be featured. These featured activities will reward players farmable high quality gear. The rewards listed below are farmable unless noted with a weekly lockout. Future raid, standard. We went over this in the other thing, but y'all know it. It's gonna be 1 lockout. The feature raid and stuff is gonna have a director challenge and hidden chest thing are gonna have lockouts. Everything else, get it. Alright. Non-feature raids, standard chance for deep sight weapons and tier 3 armor, master challenges, deep sight chests, deep sight weapons all have and tier 5 armor. Featured dungeons, the standard, the master will have tier 5 armor and weapons. The director challenge and hidden chests will be the same, a weekly lockout with tier 5 weapons and armor. The non-featured will be standard with tier 3 and then master with tier 5. Feat updates separated out as a standard mode where weekly tiered rewards can continue to be earned without feats. Rework the amount of quality of rewards drop when completing encounters with feats active. Encounter completions with feats will grant the following rewards and will be farmable. All right, and that was when we had that grade menu that we saw in the other insight. So you got the grade 0 through 5, and it breaks it down right there. Adjusted the reward grades that each feat will add to an activity. So, for instance, cutthroat combatants +4, challenges +3, shock troopers +2, token limit and phase limit are +1. So they mix those a little bit. Raids, DP. The simulant and symbol vendor in the Desert Perpetual now allows you to purchase gear at the highest tier available from your current feat selection. However, you must complete any encounter first in order to activate the ability to purchase gear. The Epic DP fixed an issue where players that was preventing players from equipping the median floor shader from Death Defiant 2 Triumph. All right, Deepstone Crypt fixed an issue where Tanics could soft lock the encounter at specific times. Valve Disciple fixed an issue where a player could pick up additional knowledge beyond max, soft locking the encounter. Root of Nightmares fixed an issue where Nezarec's crit spots could be shot early and fail to register correctly as destroyed. Fixed an issue where the Explicator defeating a Colossus would soft lock the encounter. Salvation's Edge fixed an issue in the repository encounter where closing all 3 pylons at the same time would cause a soft lock. I ain't seen nothing else get fixed. Alright. Unless they fixed all those other ways to solo dolo that joint or do that joint early. I ain't see the cheeses get fixed yet. Hopefully they still in there. Dungeons, Prophecy fixed an issue where Kell of Echo would not vanish before the first encounter. Yes, he was standing there watching us fight the whole fucking time. All right, Grasp of Avarice fixed areas where death would cause players' ghosts to be placed in inaccessible areas, preventing a revive by a fire team teammate. Yeah, that was rough. We might want to fix that in these pinnacle missions, but we didn't get there yet. Ops categories. The portal screen has been depreciated. Gone. Finito. Done. Get him out of here. All right. Fire team's ops added heist. Hey, let's kind of look at this a little bit. The fire team's ops have added the heist from Mars, the Disgrace, the Lightblade, the Scarlet Keep, the Lake of Shadows, and the Corrupt. The Dark Factor debuff in Defiant Battlegrounds ADZ icon corrected to be a debuff icon. Reduce the damage effects laser traps in Battleground Heist on Mars and Operation Seraph Shield. They now deal the same amount of same damage they would have for someone with full seasonal upgrades. They fixed a spot in the inverted spire where players could get stuck in geometry near the beginning of the activity. They fixed an issue in Reclaim where the imminent Vex subjugation timer would not always clear after completing the area. They fixed the issue in the Reclaim where Vex cubes could spawn in different locations than they're supposed to. And then the take and bite pulls are less lethal in the corrupted at higher difficulties. The lingering fire pulls from Brackus Zahn, Melee's attack, and the arms dealer are less lethal at higher difficulties. And they fixed an issue in the Battleground Behemoth where the Imperial access code pickup was not showing up properly in the HUD. All right, that happened to me the other day when I was just running regular fire team ops. So yeah, I thought it was weird, but they fixed that, so that's good. Pinnacle ops. With the addition of tiered rewards and dungeons, dungeon layers have been depreciated from Pinnacle ops. Yes, good. It didn't belong in there, and they suck with the timers sometimes, man. One to give you 30 minutes, the other one to give you 15, and you gotta traverse to the encounter, man. They fucking thank you. All right. Added the Whisper in the 0 hour. Their exotic rewards are now awarded on activity completion like other exotic missions in Pinnacle Ops. Their secrets are still completable for the associated triumphs. The quests associated with these missions have been depreciated. All right. Added a mid-activity loot chest to 0 hour. Right. Contest of Elders is now complete after 3 laps, down from 4. Good. The Node Avalon moved the data collection buff to the top of the HUD. That's cool. Derealize activating Transcendence while holding a taken orb now drops the orb and clears all related buffs. Operation Seraph Shield fixed a soft lock that could occur if players killed the Scanner Splicer in Launch Center too quickly. Okay. Onslaught. Widow's Court now uses Cabal drop pods with an indicator showing where they will land. Okay. Widow's Court's Revenant Barons now reward 2 revive tokens upon defeating their totem. Good. Contest of Elders, the Coil, and Onslaughts are now use a new progression system that starts out easier and ramps up to the selected difficulty as players progress. Good, I guess. I couldn't tell the difference. I mean, they felt the same. Didn't feel harder or anything like that. So I don't know if y'all felt like that felt harder. Let me know down in the comments. See that girl, watch that queen. All right. See, Kel's Fall fixed an issue where champions were not spawning properly during the Mad Bomber encounter. Contest of Elders bonus objectives during traversal should now trigger more consistently and provide another source of revive tokens. Okay, that's good. I don't want to be lagging here. I'm gonna stop that. It's getting an overload for some reason and don't know why. Trying to keep it to the minimum here so that we're not lagging while we're recording. This is weird that we are even lagging in the first place. Okay, relax. I'm chilling out. I'm not touching nothing. Turning everything off. You got it. All right. Where were we? There we go. Onslaught, white shields on shielded demolitionists, shielded knights, shielded sky bombers take less damage to break in higher difficulties. And onslaught, the rest are just onslaught. They tripled the base health of the ADU. They updated the scrap starting amount and earns to account for shorter activity length. And they added reprise into the light rewards to mid-activity and activity complete chests. Good, because we still want those. The Coil and Contest of Elders added the reprise Whirlpool rewards to mid-activity and activity completed weapons. Good. Bring it all back. Arena Ops. Added Override Moon. Added Override the Moon, Override Europa, Override Tangle Shore, and Last City Crater. Override fixed an issue where players could get stuck at the bottom of the traversal vortexes, and the Vex lasers traps are now less lethal. Astral Alignment, they fixed an issue where Abomination's shields may not remove upon objective completion, and they moved the exhaust debuff to the top of the HUD. Solo Ops. The bonus objectives are now all generic kill based rather than precision, ability, and etc. Destroying all the drones in the solo ops activity now properly reward bonus points. And they also fixed an issue in Caldera solo ops where enemies can unfortunately stop spawning early. Okay. The exotic rotators. Most of the missions in the exotic rotator have been added to the Pinnacle Ops, and they've decided to depreciate the rotator in favor of the Pinnacle Ops versions. Okay, so Seraphs have been moved. Operation Seraph has been moved into the Pinnacle Ops alongside the associated weapon catalyst, intrinsics, and all that stuff. Okay, so you got that. The exotic rotator will be rotator missions that had seasonal gear rewards for owners, and the associated season pass deluxe editions are now available via the classic collector modifier on the Pinnacle Ops versions. All right. The activity scoring, the simplification. All right. They've changed all that. Look at that. Now difficulty grade equals reward tier. Okay, so each difficulty now will grant flat bonuses to a reward grade, whether player modification assurance, assuming a normal value of these kills, objectives, completions, and all that stuff. Normal being B, advanced being B plus, expert A, master A plus, grandmaster S, ultimate S plus. Each reward grade grants a fixed tier rewards. Rewards like primes are still plus ones. B is tier 1, B plus tier 2, so et cetera, et cetera. Okay. S and S plus being tier 5, A plus being 3 and 4, and that's it really. No player selected modifiers are pre-slotted when selecting a difficulty. Each difficulty will have enough player selectable modifications to rank up at least one reward grade and therefore tier. Rank up button has been implemented that selects random mods to bump players up one grade for those times when you want a surprise. You know. All right. A reset button will remove all the mods. That's good. So I don't have to go in and deselect all the stuff. That's perfect. Good, good. Make it simple. Matchmaking and scores. The matchmaking versions of ops will automatically have a few modifiers applied. The fire teams can rank up their reward grade through time bonuses. All right, they added a time bonus to all match-made difficulty tiers. With these adjustments, players can now play expert, master, grandmaster, and potentially reach a higher reward rank, but they'll need to beat the target time with max score and at least 1 second remaining. Matchmaking portal difficulties have now ranged from expert to grandmaster. Ultimate is no longer available in matchmaking. All right, so you can only do that with a fire team, a pre-made fire team. All these difficulties now require power 300 to enter. They've increased the Bane combinations from 15 to 21, bringing back older Banes and combining them with current ones to add more gameplay variety. And they added the Medusa Bane. Looking directly at an affected combatant, builds up stasis slow stacks on you until you freeze, and added the Focus Fire modifier to the player stakes category. I don't think we needed a whole nother stasis lock for Christ's sake. But okay. Bane updates. Gravity. Return to Gravity Bane hitboxes to better match the visuals. A shock. Fix the bug where shock would damage players if they enter line of sight just after the shock fires. Drain. Drain no longer damages the players the amount they enter line of sight. They will now be a slight delay before it does any damage. The Cascade. Reduce Cascade arming. Shape the FX and increase the damage between projectiles. Hypernova no longer deals damage outside of the VFX area. Slow the damage to pulse, and now knocks back enemy combatants. Okay, it no longer knocks back players and cover by the cover requirements to be safe, but the cover requirements to be safe have increased. You can no longer hide behind street lamps or poles. I didn't even know that was a thing. All right, like let's be real. Let's be goddamn real. All players in the detonation zone are scorched regardless of cover status. Rage. Increase the amount damage as health decreases now scales up over time. From full health, it takes 2 seconds for the maximum damage buff to kick in. The mines, they reduce the hitbox size of the mine detonations, reduce the minimum damage dealt by the mines from 70 to 50, and then increase the maximum damage from 135 to 200. I didn't realize there was this many freaking mains. Screebers. Oh my god. Many Screebs will now select a new target if the target they are tracking dies. Cal troops. The FX is clear now, and the damage volume is now only active after the spike comes out and until the spike fades. Zealous. They tuned the area damage pulse. They made the player feedback between sources more consistent. The buffed combatant detonations now have damage fall off. The reduced minimum damage from 50 to 15. And they fixed the bug where explosions would sometimes happen at an incorrect time. All right. Crucible. Crucible. All right, our favorite place to be, right? I love it there. They updated matchmaking settings for small team activities, 3v3 and 4v4 quick play modes to allow for early start without full lobbies. They fixed an issue where the trial shaders were not dropping from the lighthouse, and they fixed the issue where the heavy crates were overslapping with special ammo crates and momentum and control and collisions. They fixed issues where certain capture points were floating on lockdown and event tied and multiplex. They fixed issues where teams would spawn on top of capture zones. They fixed issues where the UI was messed up. They fixed issues where efficiency stat was not functional. They fixed an issue where the close call medal was unobtainable. They fixed an issue where the MVP additional loot from heavy metal matches wasn't being given as a part of the broader rewards pass. Stuff that I truly don't care about. All right. Stuff that I truly don't care about. Crucible Ops. They updated the gear tier for rewards per performance grade. So C tier is plus the tier 3. B tier is 4, A and above is 5. Okay, I like that. I actually like that. I don't know how you're gonna know when you got the tier, but it's fine. Whatever. Obviously you win, you lose. Who cares? Increase the score amount for 5th and 6th place. Activity scoring formula updated to reflect new performance grade thresholds. Y'all can check these numbers out here. I'm not gonna repeat all that stuff. The 6v6 3v3 rotator, rumble, and private match have been integrated into the Crucible Ops. The 6v6 rotator modes are as listed there, with between all the usual stuff that we usually get. I'm glad to see Mayhem coming in into the mix. Mix is 6v6 will be Iron Banner, Eruption, Fortress, Tribute, and all that. 3v3s will Survival, Heavy Metal, Hardware, Mix, Collision, Lockdown, and so on. Competitive. They replaced the seasonal competitive weapon rewards with gear rewarded pools from loot pools that included both weapons, and added a new competitive emblem. Will require 77 competitive playlist wins. 77 wins to get that emblem. That's a lot. Go ahead and get your sweat on. They added Ascendant Zero emblem, a chance to drop after acquiring the first Ascendant Zero emblem. And they reduced the following map wings for anomaly, collision, dissonance, and all the maps that people fucking hate. All right. They removed the following maps, all the maps that people fucking hate. All right. To do those competitive trials. They updated the weekly feature map to a random set of maps, 3 random selections from 3 map pools between 1 and 3 and maps each week. And they updated the weekly feature weapon lighthouse chest reward to pull from a weekly feature pool of weapons. Okay. Those were all discussed in the last dev insights with that. Iron Banner, pretty much the same deal. It's going to be here on the weeks that Trials is not. It's going to come in every 4 weeks. And they updated the loot rewards to drop an additional Iron Banner reward. The focusing now includes focusing for all tiered Iron Banner gear, including the gear editions and the gear from Edge of Fate and Ashen Iron and Renegades. Okay. Focusing will utilize the Iron Banner ciphers obtained through Iron Banner match completions. Iron Banner will remain event card and not see its reputation rank track restored. So no more reputation, just the card, which I think is good. The event card is a lot better. Gives you something to chase, and I like the objective list that gives. Shooting range. Ooh, they touching our testing space. I don't like it. All right. So no, I ain't gonna say I don't like it yet. I don't even know what it's about. All right. Shooting range. Fix an issue where the run and single combat button would sometimes seem usable when the target range was already full, but not work. Didn't know that. The kiosk will now display a message when the range has the maximum number of targets in it. When spawning a single combatant target, they will always use the closest location that isn't occupied instead of always spawning further back than the previous one. They will still spawn further back based on the closer locations being occupied by another target, though. The rally banner could only be used every 10 seconds, so one player using it would prevent others from using it. That's crazy. Why that? Let everybody touch it. This has been changed to a cooldown of 3 seconds that is applied only to the player using it. Perfect. I just said that. Ha! Added 5 new combatants to the lineup, which is right there. Cool. We get little additions there. I don't see anything that's going to be dreadful. Added static damageable targets at the end of the main range. Cool. Shotguns, fusion rifles, all that stuff will work. Have a number of instance of DPS scoreboard to make it easier to test sword shot. Okay. Oh, cool. That's cool. So they have a second instance of a scoreboard for like close range weapons. Close range and spread shot weapons, let's put it that way. Damage done to these targets is scaled as though they're boss combatants, and damage is reflected in the team-wide DPS scoreboard. Okay. The art/environment. They fixed some issues with self-damage lasers. They fixed an issue with misplaced floating high beam. And they fixed an issue with the Hive Ogre hologram will fall over sometimes. They're doing their best. That's crazy. All right. Renegades. They removed Renegade's auto launch for characters that have not logged in since the launch of Renegades. They removed the dialogue from Zavala granting the Renegade intro. They removed the Renegade's milestone quest. It is still added automatically from orbit once you completed the New Light campaign and interacting with the Renegade's node on the director can launch the first mission. Generators and Fearsome Retainer will now take damage from any walker damage abilities. They also fixed an issue where campaign quests completions was distributing the modified NLS courier, the exotic ship. Wow. Added a pick option on the Spider in the Tharsis Katina for players who have already completed the quest. They fixed an issue where some Piker contracts listed the reputation rewards twice. Fixed an issue where the exotic rewards from Renegade's key card chests favored incorrect older gear in some instances instead of new exotics. That sucks. Witch Queen. They fixed an issue where the boss of the post-campaign mission, Altar of the Reflection, Catalyst, Witch Eye, Keeper of Memory, was not opening, blocking player progression. The boss now opens and players can continue the exotic glaive quest. Is that the place with the wizards? I think so. I remember that because that was the place I used. I think that's the place I used to farm some stuff sometimes. Sparrow Racing League. We can ride sparrows again, and they added all this stuff. The quantum circuit track, the ability. This is coming back from D1, and they added all this stuff back. We got Sparrow Racing League back. I don't need to explain or tell you about that. We got it back. That's it. All that stuff you see there, that's it. All right, y'all know where this is. Heavy Metal. If you play Destiny, you know where this is. Heavy Metal's back in. All right, they added the Nightmare Ruins map. The option to play as a Cabal Behemoth is in there. In the vehicle selection screen, choose between Tank, Brig, Behemoth before the match. All right, players can now switch between Heavy Metal and classic tank mouse controls in the gameplay options. Note this option affects all tanks across the game. The jump enabled for all vehicles, even the tank. That's gonna be crazy. And the score limit is now reduced from 50 to 40. Cool. They try to make that match last because they're gonna be jumping all over the place. UI and UX stuff. They updated the title screen, the Director Destinations tab. The Portal tab has been depreciated completely, so they removed that out. The Ops category content has been moved to the Destinations tab. The original Vanguard Ops and Nightfall playlists have been depreciated and replaced with the Ops activities, Solo, Fireteam Arena, and Pinnacle. The quest objectives previously requiring players to complete activities in these playlists can now be completed in the Ops version. All right. The previous Crucible node activities have been depreciated and replaced with the Crucible Ops counterparts. Private Crucible matches are playable in the Crucible Ops node. Gambit Ops has been updated with tiered weapons, scoring to maintain parity with the other Ritual Ops nodes, and private Gambit matches are playable in the Gambit Ops node. Raids and dungeons have been given their own entry point alongside the Ops categories as well. All right, Legendary node. The Legendary node is also being depreciated and replaced by the Raids and Dungeons node. All right, I say Legendaries, Legends. Okay, so that node where you would go to find King's Fall and Prophecy, Ghost of the Deep, and all those, that's gone. All right, these Raids and Dungeons are now available in the Legends. Legends node. That were available in the Legends node have been moved over to the Raids and Dungeons node on the Destinations tab. All right. I just said all that whole list. So the seasonal hub and event cards, when active across access, these points have been moved to the destination tab alongside the ops categories as well. So whenever there's one of those event card things popping up, boom, they will be there. So Iron Banner. Kepler and the Lawless Frontier have been moved to the Destinations tab. The existing Destinations visuals have been updated to reflect all of this. The Ops category screens have been updated with new navigation, allowing players to tab between the categories once one is selected. All right. The Director map has been moved back to the top level of the tabs. All right. Other director-related fixes were an instantaneous line when rendering at the top of the screen, issues with sheening elements, pink dot showing up on the screen, and the featured quest tab was sheening when there was no featured quest. All right. Just a little glare stuff that shows up on the screens, okay? Ops activities. Time limits for ops activities are now visible in the pre-launch UI near combatants. All right. I gotta hurry this up. I got about 30 minutes before this guy gets here. Time limit. Sorry. Yeah. Real life. This isn't my job. I don't get paid for this unless y'all, give me enough numbers to get paid for this. Ops activities. Time limits for ops activities are now visible in the pre-launch UI near combatant difficulty when applicable. Am I gonna have to make a new overlay? Because this thing right here, this thing and this thing, all right, they gotta go. They gotta go. All right. So we gotta figure something out. Yeah, we gotta figure something out. Hold up, hold the numbers, hold the numbers. I need because the sound, I don't have the sound separated, so I need you to relax. What's up, Miss Blue? While I'm reading this, I can't remember how to turn that shit off. Actually, I think I did. Hold up. I got y'all. Bow. Alerts off. See what you made me do. Are they over there? They're not. You made me turn them off. Score predictions. Let's see. Score predictions prior to launching activities now visualize the minimum time bonus you can receive for completing the activity under the time limit. The mid-activity score has been updated to indicate which performance grade scores is marked. The end of activity scoring toast has been streamlined, and the score breakdown tab of the PGCR has been updated to reflect scoring. All right. Activity customization. Added error messaging to selectable modifiers that cannot be selected to indicate why they cannot be selected. The modifier selection had an issue where some players were soft locking when navigating in and out of the activity rewards. The stakes category icons are different now, and they're better, improved, and they also improved the tooltip subheaders, just so you can read a little bit better there too. The Fire Team Finder banners have been updated to reflect the various changes to activities in the release. Fire Team Finder group hosts can now see if Guardians are actively joining them or not. Hosts will see incoming Guardian nameplates in the lobby for the actively joining members. The HUD has some changes as well. They fixed the issue where the world information tooltips weren't rendering too good. The waypoints for public activities for like altars, blindwell, and terminal overload were empty. The visual issues with the HUD where like the tray animation was being a little weird with the nav. And the ammo pickups and stuff, they fixed that. And the in-world narrative text display, the page back functionality is added. The visual for the box has been refined. Okay, so when you talk to an NPC and you go back and forth, right? Character screen, the anti-champion display tooltip on the character screen has been updated to show exactly what the equipped weapons are provided for anti-champion, and we are only like a fraction into this bad boy. Like, this is wild. The loadouts, they've added the extra slots, so we went from 12 to 20. We went from 12 to 20. The artifact and its perk selections will now be saved to the loadouts. All right, we know about all this stuff. General inventory stuff, the barrels and mags all display. A tooltip and making it a little bit easier. The anti-champion information's on there as well. They fixed the visual issues. They fixed the minor armor issues. The intrinsic perks display on the expanded more info tooltips now. for both the weapons and the armor, and the updated archetypes for the icons are on armor detail screen is a bit larger. All right, triumphs and metrics. They switched the triumphs and title sections placement on the journey tab for easier access to Monument of Triumph categories. They added the view feature shortcut to quickly navigate to that. They fixed issues accurately reflecting that. Let's see. They fixed issues where the Pale Heart triumphs were obscured. The Nightfall related triumphs and metrics and stuff were fine. They did a whole lot here with the triumphs and stuff. And it's just a bunch of visual aid issues, okay? Commendations, they fixed an issue where the commendation count on tooltips would render more than 3 degree digits. And so on and so on. The settings, tank controls, all that stuff can now be changed between heavy metals and things. All right. Gameplay and investments, you can attune anywhere now. All that's inside your own inventory screen. Thank God. All right. So you ain't got to go back to a specific planet to do attunements because they knew better. All right. Destination rewards. They updated the rewards from pre-Edge of Fate destinations with new perks, set bonuses, and all that stuff. We know about all this. The public events are going to be the best source for tiered destination gear, and then they updated the loot pools to avoid dropping weapons after all crafted patterns are unlocked from the Throne World, the Pale Heart, and Neomuna. Okay, terminal overload weapons will begin to drop from more sources when all their crafting patterns are found. Cool. Armor, exotics, Worm Husk, reworked, affecting class ability, activating class ability grants cure, solar multi kills granting burning souls, while active solar damage is increased and dodging greatly increases the player's nearby for the player increases cure for the player and the nearby allies. All right, damn, couldn't get that out. All right, Shards of Galanor. Landing most barrage knives in a valley causes a delayed solar explosion and releases this solar shrapnel, so it just goes boom, boom, sling, boom, boom. Best way I could describe it. All right. Relativism. Spirit of the Worm Husk reworked to do the same thing that it did up there. All right. Caliban's Hand, they increased the recharge rate, the damage for the Scorch, refunds energy, and the Ignition Final Blows now refund knife energy and can overflow into extra energy. Frosties got reworked as well. The stacks, they gain stacks of Frost armor while running. They're now stasis related. And when you have Frost armor, stasis weapons have an increased damage, which is cool. Shinobu's Vow. Skip grenades get a little bit of a bonus, all right? And then grant some skip grenade energy whenever you gain stacks of bolt charge. And yeah, skip grenade, I would just said that. Skip grenades have extra damage with bolt charge. And when you gain full bolt charge, you heal yourself and nearby allies, giving an enhanced skip grenade. Shit about to be stupid. All right. Radiant Flux now had successful arc staff hits will jolt, and the combo, Palm Blast, it's going to do some extra critical damage, or it was it's going to report its critical damage. Moth Keepers, they reworked how that works. Getting kills from any source will charge up the moth grenades after generating 6 charges. Convert your grenade into 2 moths. You have red bars, orange bars, and mini bosses to all do a different set of charges, 1, 2, and 3. All the current functionality and synergies of the moth grenades themselves remain the same. Arcs moths blind, void moths still give you an overshield. Arc moths are considered arc grenades, and will synergize with all the fragments and stuff like that, and invest into your grenades that will make it better. The exotic is now a conditional grenade override instead of a complete override, right? So just like Gunpowder Gamble. They've increased the movement speed of arc moths and the void moths by a little bit, so they flow a little faster. All right, both moths from the same grenade will now attempt to target separate enemies. All right, they will split. Hopefully, Lucky Pants. They decrease the damage for Uncivil Discourse. They increase the damage for the Ariana's Vow, and they decrease the bonus damage when dealing damage to bosses. That's it. Titan's Hollow Fire Heart. We heard about all this stuff inside the insights. Let me see if I can find one that wasn't in there. Peregrines weren't really in there. They increased the damage on those again. Let me see. They reduced it against champions and mini bosses, but they increased it against non-champion and mini bosses. Severance, the line of sight for that has been changed up. Praxis, they updated that. They made it feel a little bit better for when you activate it. I'm giving you cliff notes of this because I read all these already. No backup plans. They trigger now a little bit more easier. And they give you, depending on what you got on, they work with all the subclasses now instead of just one. Cadmus Lance, you can spawn the Stasis Lance even when you're not behind the barricade, and it grants you bonus energy for the lance. I mean, bonus damage for the lance, depending on your stacks of frost armor. Point of contacts, a little bit better. Get some strike lightning strikes, based on your thunder charge. So instead of you having to charge up all the time, you can still have a minimum charge. So this is something I usually do with that one because I'm always like kind of tapping. So yeah, crazy work. I'm a Saint 14. The weapons of light continues to persist for the wearer and the allies upon leaving the ward of dawn. It lost functionality. No longer disorients enemies. So they took away the disorienting enemies, and what else? The new functionality, the weapons of light is active, kills with sustained damage, grant stacks of the saint. Void and kinetic damage sources will also suppress in a radius around the victim. ACDC's got nerfed. They no longer provide damage resist. Peacekeepers, they decrease the bonus damage when against bosses and reverted a prior nerf to Teraba. When paired with Peacekeeper, now gets the full bonus. Got you. Stronghold's infinite guard capability has been updated to only work on heavy swords. Blast waves, shrapnel, and all that stuff is going to be stasis crystal related and everything like that. They looking pretty good. All these got a buff. Nazareth Sin, Medosia, Skull of Ahamkar, Crown of Tempest, Man on Harmon. We've seen all of these already done. Of course, Nothing Manacles got nerfed. Controverse Holds got a little bit of a nerf as well. Demi Suffusion. Daimo Suffusion? I guess so. They added, let's see, 6 additional armor archetypes. This is one of the things we saw the other day too. Siegebreaker, Skirmisher, Demolitionist, Colossus, Reaver, Powerhouse. And they increase the strength of armor mods on Ghosts, so you'll get better chance at the drops. Because I swear it was rough, man. But I still liked it. You know what I mean? So yeah. Hopefully the farming for the particular stat armor roll is not as crazy. The armor set bonuses, ride together, die together. Smoke Jumper 2-piece has gotten a little bit of a nerf for damage reduction. And then Superliminal Motion, peak performance is unchanged in PvP. Increase the health granted while moving 15 to 30% outside the Crucible. So that got a buff for PvE. Armor mods. The melee kickstart armor mods will now activate when a full melee charge is consumed, not just when reaching 0 melee energy. Okay, didn't know that was messed up. Thought it was weird. That's why I never used them. Like I thought they were weird, but I'm hopefully that actually gives me something good. When using Fletch's Storm, this will only activate when returning to the ground. Well, my Titans melee builds are fucked. Strand melee builds. Grenade kickstart mods already support multiple charges and remain unchanged. Cool. Fixing an issue with where the melee kickstart or mod fails to provide melee. We're not worried about that. Functionalities mods is unchanged. Radiant Light, Powerful Friends haven't been touched. They fixed the issue where multiple copies of Recuperation mod was granting temporary class stats. Okay. Better Already was given temporary class stat as well instead of health or wow, those were busted that way. And thanks, it's funny, I switched from Better Already because I didn't like the delay. Holster mods, they fixed the issue where Solar and Harmonic could reload Parasite despite it being a weapon with only 1 in the mag. Nice. The worm still hungers for violence. It can be satiated via its new catalyst. All right. Legendary armor ornaments. There's a shit ton of them. Armor 2.0 raids and stuff like that. They're including the raid slots can now be focused on Hawthorne for 10 spoils per piece. And they're just available. You can get them. Go have fun. Go run them up. I'm keeping that in, by the way, because I give no fucks. You're gonna hear all my nastiness. It's like, no, armor fixes. That's your list. This thing is long. I see Celestials, Galanors, Secant filaments on there. Praxic Vestments, Oath Keepers, Rhyme Coat got a little bit of a fix. Mechaneers, Trick Sleeves, wait. Ahamkara's, Caliban's Hand, and that's it. All right, fixed it, and then the campaign rewards will now would include. They fixed the campaign rewards for Final Shape 2. They're now Armor 3.0 curated rolls. Weapons, Anti-Champion 2.0. All right, we showed you this list. Barrier Champion's getting fucked. The archetype is now going to be the definitive, or the intrinsic archetype is going to be the definitive for the Anti-Champion types. So pay attention to your weapon. Barrier's getting fucked. Just saying. Unstoppable on aggressives, high impacts, precision, adaptives, a barrier, lightweight, rapid fire, overload. All right. Support, overload, adaptive burst for LFRs, overload, aerial denials, overload, double fire, overload, micro missile, not overload, double fire, unstoppable, micro missile, unstoppable, wave, unstoppable, compression, unstoppable, heavy burst, unstoppable, spread shot, overload, aggressive, unstoppable, aggressive, unstoppable, heavy, unstoppable. The BXR type, barrier, rockets, assisted, unstoppable, rocket assisted, sidearms, pulse and sidearms, I'm sorry, unstoppable, disruption, sniper rifles, barrier, caster swords, barrier, vortex swords, overload, wave swords, unstoppable, dynamic heat weapons, overload, balanced heat weapons, overload. Barrier gets fucked. I'm just saying, barrier kind of gets fucked. But at the same time, barrier gets a lot of the faster paced weapons, which is cool. I like it. I like that. It's not gonna give me like the heavy joints, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We get something in every column. Okay. General. Some instances of Dead Messenger and Barrel Dyad have been seen their tubes and grips updated respectively to align with their weapon types. They fixed an issue where Risen Zero couldn't be reshaped with upgraded intrinsics. They enhanced weapon mods at Gear Tier 3, updated the Gear Tier 5 ornaments for weapons from Renegades. Crafted weapons and raid adepts capable of reshape can now reach the power of Gear Tier 5. All that stuff is stuff they already talked about. There's nothing really new here. The ammo system, we talked about this already in the dev insight the other day. Go run that back. All that's it's the same things. They nerfed Choir 1 a little bit. Like for the brick pickups and things of that nature. So please just go check that out. If it's any worry to you, I don't really care. You know, it's not gonna affect me too much. If you're a super sweat and trying to micromanage every little thing about it, cool, rock out. Weapon types, support frames, crossbows, primary weapons, auto rifles, they all getting touched. Everybody getting touched a little bit, getting up and down, decreased. A lot of nerfs, a lot of things. Catalyst list. I know this is important. So no, this is exotic weapons list, but they're all getting catalysts. Everybody's getting catalysts. They are hitting these weapons. Did we get there? This is just tuning. I'm trying to get to the catalyst weapon perks. We don't want to know about that. We know about this stuff already. Get to the meat and potatoes. This thing is long. All right. Seven Seraph, everybody. What's this? Hold up. Back up. Appreciate it, Renegades, fragile weapon mods. Oh, the mods. The mods are going. Of course, it's leaving. We don't need those in the game. Weapon fixes. I don't care. Where are we going? Abilities, stasis. This is long, man. I've been talking for an hour. Like, shatter grenades is new. Oh, we got new abilities. New abilities. All this stuff. And this stuff has been shown in previews. We're gonna keep scrolling. I just want to see what the catalysts are. Striker, Behemoth. We know what they're doing. All right. Everybody's got a buff for some of their aspects as well. They haven't taken away any of the slots. They've added slots to a lot of the aspects that we use. I think it was a back away from a nerf that we had before where some things had 2 and 1 or 3 and they moved them down to 2 and now they're pushing them back up to 3. And some things are getting an extra slot. So now we can have 6 things again. These builds are about to go crazy. Because I'm a firm believer of 6. All right. Let's see. Gunslinger's gotten a little bit of a buff. Thread or nerf. Thread Runner's gotten a little bit better. Warlock's pretty good. Queen's Foil.
think is he here yet? No. So that's not the camera. Uh,
All right. I'm gonna pause this. Can I? All right. As I'm getting further down this list, the abilities, skills, and changes to the supers and stuff, we're gonna go inside. We gonna feel it for ourselves. So I'll do a separate video of that. Because I don't want this to be that long of a video, even though it is gonna be. So I'm trying to get down. So we're going to go power and progression. The power cap will not be increasing and power level will not be reset. The hard cap remains 550 and all your items will maintain their current power levels. Players will continue to find new rewards at minimum 300. Maintaining a change made in Renegades. Okay. Portal activity reward power. The power of portal activity rewards are no longer capped per the difficulty level selected. Earning a grade A, for example, will drop reward at the same power level regardless of which difficulty you played. The power of portal activity rewards has been increased, allowing for faster progression. A grade A or higher will now continue to award positive progression all the way to hard cap of 550. Okay, A or higher. Higher grades will continue to provide larger power bonuses, of course. Um, Higher your grade, the better your rewards, basically. Still, miscellaneous rewards from sources throughout the game, such as pre the Edge of Fate content, have been buffed. These rewards will no longer be capped at 300. The rewards are now have a chance to drop +1 up to 400 power. Okay. After 400, these rewards will drop close to but below your current power level. Rewards purchased from legacy vendors have been buffed. These rewards will no longer be capped at 300. The rewards will drop close to but below your current power level. Okay. So, for instance, if you are 550, it will drop at 540. Okay. Let's say it that way, or 545. All right. Currency and materials getting a buff. All right. Currency and materials getting a simple buff. Great buff. Basically giving us more slots. Strange coins is 777. Enhancement cores are 10,000 basically. Enhancement prisms are 200, which is weird. Ascendant shards are 50. Ascendant alloys are now 50 as well. Raid banners are basically 1,000. I I I still don't agree with this. Like, just those caps should have went up to 500, let's say, like that, or something like that, right? But I get it, because if they raise this is the stuff needed to level up things. Cool. Fixed incorrectly assigned collections reacquisitions cost for several ghost shells, ships, sparrows released since episode Revenant. All right. The experience, the weekly reset bonus, the weekly rest bonus available for first 250k XP earned each week. The weekly catch-up bonus introduced for the Lawless reward pass has been removed. The bonus had further increased XP each week to help keep pass progression. Um, Ahead of a pass expiration date, since the Lawless reward pass has ended and the Triumph reward pass will not expire, this bonus has been retired. Bright Dust. Here's your Bright Dust acquisition. Daily objectives give you 20 each, up from 10. Weekly objectives gives you 100 each. Weekly hub bonuses give you 20. Weekly reward track gives you 1,000 total. Active orders are at 1,500 total. 10 per normal, 100 per legendary, 200 per exotic. Active orders 10 per normal, 10 per normal, 20 per legendary, 30 per exotic. Vanguard alerts 250 each. And they can be earned twice a week. They've increased the total Bright Dust available on the Triumph Reward Pass. See the Reward Pass section below, and we'll see that in a section. Chronologues, we went over this before. You can now gain chronologues in the game. They will now be one of the 4 featured currencies in the UI. Zavala offers, Commander Zavala offered to acquire the previous week's Vanguard Arsenal will no longer cost Bright Dust. It will cost 200 chronologues. Okay. The 4th and 5th weapon choices can be unlocked for 50 chronologues each, as before. Offers will still only be displayed for Arsenal credits. They were not earned for the seasonal hub. Okay. Weekly reward track 300. Vanguard alerts total is 200. The additionally 3,500 chronologues will be available on the Triumph Reward Pass. All right. Vendors. Year one shader, 8-1. Year one shaders, 4 unreleased shaders. Increase the number of available shaders per week from 3 to 6. Updated Ada's legacy armor to no longer be on rotation. Expanded the selection of all armors for transmog. Updated the Threader bounty reset. No longer reset seasonally. Instead, players will earn 1 additional Threader bounty per class per week. New bounties available each week at weekly reset. It's funny because we were asking for this from the start. Drifter, same deal. He's getting a buff. All his stuff getting upgraded. Lord Shack, same thing, getting a buff, upgraded. All the vendors have been upgraded. Changes to them. We'll see them in game. Hawthorne, same deal. Lodi, yada yada yada. Identity and expression, expanded ornaments, transmog across the board, updated. uh, Product updates. So this is for my people who are about to purchase this game. If you're new to the game, or you're coming back to the game and you don't have any of the content, product updates I believe this is the section for that. All right. The Year of Prophecy. Actually, let me double check on that. Partially. All right. So yes, the Year of the Prophecy Deluxe Edition, the Year of Prophecy Ultimate Edition have been retired. The New Land Beyond Exotic and Catalyst will now be available to new and existing players of either Edge of Fate and all of that. The Year of Prophecy Edition's themed armor ornament sets will now be available in the Eververse labs and all that stuff too. The 4th reward pass for the year, they're pretty much just saying they're moving it all to Eververse in some way, shape, or form, and the Triumph pass as well. All right. I'm trying to narrow down. Destiny 2 The Collection is now available on all platforms. It's called Destiny 2 The Collection, no longer the other one. The Collection. All right. The older one was called the Legacy Collection. This one's called The Collection. Okay. The collection offers all standard editions, legacy packs for each expansion in one product, along with the dungeon keys for all of the expansions. Okay. Dungeon keys remain available in the Eververse edition individually or in a pack. These will show as owned if the keys are acquired from the collection. Okay. That's it. The timeline node has been added for the Monument from Triumph as well. Destiny announcements. We know about that little announcement page they got. The reward pass. The expiration timer has been removed. There's no longer, it doesn't go in. Repeatable 5th rank and 10 rank offers in the Eververse have been retired. The reward track for the Triumph Pass has been received additional cosmetics. Total Bright Dust awards as well. The ranks for the free track on the Triumph Pass will award an Eververse engram. The score boosts or for portal activities have been replaced with minor XP boosts. The boost honors score progression from the Lawless rewards and so on. One account has earned 5 levels of minor boost across both the Lawless Pass and Triumph Pass. The minor XP boost will be capped at 15. All right. Any remaining rank on the Triumph Reward Pass that would provide a minor XP boost will instead award an enhancement core. Okay. Monument to Season Pass update. We're almost through it. The Ash and Iron rewards and the Lawless Reward Pass have been added to the Monument to Seasons. The seasonal armor bundles for the year of the final shape have been added to the relevant episodes. The chronolog exchange has been updated to support a weekly or bi-weekly purchase cycle for every resource. Below, we've listed the item offer with the additional chronologs, cost, and how many can be purchased per week. That's your list. Prisms, alloy shards, deep sight harmonizers, strange coins, synth weaves, exotic ciphers, bright engrams, and exotic engrams. All right. And I know people are looking at those harmonizers. You can only get one per 2 weeks. All right. I'm looking at you, Sin. I know you want them. One every 2 weeks. All right. One every 2 weeks. They hitting you hard. They making you work for it because you got to have something to grind for. The Evergreen of the Eververse, Silver and Bright Dust will continue to be relevant currencies. Any reserves will retain their value. The recommendation systems have been retired. The Silver will still be purchasable, but you can get this stuff with engrams now and Bright Dust. We went over that before. They have daily offerings as well. You can go in there and do whatever you need to do. You can earn this stuff with either Silver or Bright Dust. Doesn't matter. All right. Just gotta pay attention to where it's at. Legends. The Legends tab has been refreshed to house content from our featured partners. Items on this tab will be available for as long as Destiny 2 is permitted to offer them, after which they will be retired.
Partners items will only be available for silver and will not be available outside the tab. Okay. So there you go. That's the partnered items. You heard what I just said? Partnered items. Seasonal offering archives, all that stuff's in there. Bright Engram does focus, and we went over that already. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's your patch notes. I'm done here. They gave us everything. All right. Whole kit and caboodle. We're gonna go in there, we're gonna look at it. Everybody. Everybody. All right. All right. All right. But that's your patch notes. 9.7.0. That's it for me. I'm done. I just patted y'all in the face. My bad. My bad. All right. Next video, us in the game testing shit. All right. Thank you. Appreciate y'all. Sorry for being an hour. Barely. Because I'm keep talking. And I won't shut up.